Hi, I'm Uncle Brian with Woggers General Services, and today I'm going to show you tips on how to locate the source of a leak in your house and what it may take to get your house back to normal. In this house, a tenant reported a puddle of water on the carpet in one of the bedrooms. Now, they just had the carpets cleaned and thought that, well, maybe the carpet cleaners just didn't suck up all the water. But after a couple days, it seemed to get bigger, so they reported it. Now, in front of the dresser, there was a wet spot on the carpet. But the carpet wasn't wet anywhere else. Not under the dresser, just this 12-inch diameter puddle all by itself. So a couple hints on how to find the source of a leak is, 1, puddles just don't materialize in the middle of the room unless they're dripping down from the ceiling, and this one wasn't. 2, you have to move stuff to find stuff. And 3, know the layout of your house. Now, since puddles don't materialize out of nowhere, I moved on to number 2. You have to move stuff. So I moved the dresser and pulled back the carpet, and the floor was wet under the carpet. It just hadn't come to the top where it could be felt. But the padding was all wet, and the drywall along the baseboards was all wet. So what you have is the carpet over here is all wet. Up to the wall, the baseboards are wet. Now, this little bump out here, that's part of the laundry room. So the washer and dryer back up to this wall here. This area here on the other side is actually the water heater in the garage. So if you look, I got the carpet pulled back. You can see, but it's all wet there. So now on to number 3. Know the layout of your house. So here's a diagram of the area of the house. Now the area in blue is where the carpet is wet. The walls shown in red have water damage. And as you can see, part of that area goes to the laundry and part goes to the garage where the water heater is located. And both those walls have plumbing located in the walls. So let's check them out. So over here, if you look, so there's that wall, that's the laundry room here. So this wall here is, right on the other side of that is where I've pulled the carpet up. This wall here is where the crib is. That's where the dresser is. Now, on this side over here is the water heater. I'll go out here. So the laundry room, here's the inlet here, the water heater. So this wall here, that's the bedroom on the other side of that wall. And we have water on the floor here. Let me pull this away one second. Okay, just FYI, tenant had a water softener installed. So it tapped in here. This would have been where the loop was, but I don't know if there was a pressure reducing valve in that or not. So it looks like they cut into the loop to go into the water softener. Now for the regeneration and drainage of the water softener, this is this line here. You got going over here on the bottom. Let's pull this away. It's all wet down here. So that line then goes up here. So pull this, it's all wet down here. So that goes around there. So now our bottom of our wall here is wet. It goes up here. I have a feeling it's coming from inside the laundry room out, soaking through here, going into the wall that way. Maybe the drainage line. So this goes into the wall and it goes into the drain in the wall box. We'll go back in and look at it. So this pipe here is the one coming from the garage and it goes down into the wall tube here. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's running right now. This box is broken around the valve here. I have a feeling the drain inside the wall tube here, there might be a problem in that drain line. The only way to find out would be to cut open the wall here and take a look inside. But chances are it's either from one of the water lines coming up has a slow leak in it, or the drain line from the water softener. But I don't see any issues on this side. But it's hard to tell with the washer in the way. We'd have to pull it out, but there's no water technically on the floor. Which makes me wonder if it's just leaking out here. I'm going to pull all this stuff out of here and take a look. 1 second. Now, I verified that the water heater was not leaking, which narrowed it down to either probably a break in the in-wall drain pipe for the laundry or maybe a leak in one of the water lines going to the washing machine valves. But then I also took a closer look at that CPVC drain pipe for the water softener. Now, the pipe starts here, goes down the wall, across the floor along this wall, and then across the floor in front of the platform for the water heater. Then it takes another turn and then goes up the wall where it finally goes through the wall and into the drain in the laundry room. Then I found it. A teeny tiny leak right here at this fitting. So I replaced the elbow fitting, wiped up any standing water, pulled the carpet back in the bedroom, and placed an air mover in the bedroom to help dry things out. Now, I also wanted to make sure that there were no additional leaks happening, so I wanted to give it a couple days to see if it either dried out or if there's any more leaking going on. During that time, I submitted an estimate to the property management company to present to the homeowner, which the homeowner approved. Now let's see how things looked when we returned in 2 days. So there's no further water leakage here, so that means that was the only leak that's coming from that fitting down there. No further leaks. Since everything was drying out, it meant that that teeny tiny pinhole leak caused all this damage. Now, the water softener was installed 4 months ago, and it was probably leaking the entire time. And with such a tiny leak, it would have taken that 4 months for enough water to leak out to become noticeable. So here was a plan to fix it. We needed to remove the damaged drywall on the front of the platform and on the 2 side walls. I also wanted to look under the platform to see if we could be able to, get to that back wall to replace any drywall if needed, which I'm sure it would with 4 months of leaking and going through that wall into the bedroom. I just didn't want to have to tear the platform down if we didn't have to. But if it did and we couldn't get to it to replace it, that would mean we would have to tear apart the platform, which also means removing the water heater. And in my estimate, I already stated that we would not replace the existing water heater once the drywall was completed. Well, that's because the water heater is 13 years old, well past its usable lifespan. So the bid included installing a new water heater. Now, we would also have to remove the baseboards and water-damaged drywall in the bedroom. Plus, we did verify that the walls in the laundry behind the washer and dryer were also damaged. So those would need to be cut out and replaced, along with all the baseboards in those areas. Now, the good discovery in all of this was that there was no mold anywhere. I was shocked considering how long it's been leaking. We did treat all the studs and footers with a mold inhibitor just as a precaution and made sure everything dried out before installing any new installation in the walls and repairing the drywall. Luckily, that drywall on the wall behind the water heater platform stopped at the top of the platform, and there was no drywall under the platform on the garage side, just some insulation to replace. Then we painted everything to match and installed new baseboards. A couple other items also needed to be resolved, which were found during the demo. The washing machine valves were so corroded they wouldn't turn off, and the wall box for those valves was broken and cracked. Since we already had part of that wall cut open to replace the water-damaged drywall, we also cut up a little bit higher so we can replace the box and the valves. Now, I also made it better. Now, it appears that this house was repiped at some point and PEX was installed. For the washer valves, they ran the PEX down the wall and then looped it back up to the valves. But this created a lot of tension pushing on the valves sideways, which caused the box to crack and the valves to sit crooked. So when I installed the new box, I installed the valves on the top of the box so the water lines would just come straight down to the valves. No more loop-to-loop in the wall and no more tension on the valves. I also had to reroute the drain line over slightly since the port on the box for the drain was now in the center instead of on the left side. All in all, this is a much cleaner setup. Now, I also rerouted the drain pipe for the water softener. The way it was set up, the water had to travel down, then across the floor, and then back up the wall before it could get to the drain. Now, this meant that water would forever be sitting in the pipe since it couldn't travel up unless it was, under pressure from the regeneration phase. But once that stopped, then water would still be sitting in the pipe. So instead, I routed new pipes around the wall with a slight downward slope, so once the draining was finished, any water in the pipe would drain out due to gravity. So if a leak in the pipe ever happens again, there won't be any water sitting in the pipe to cause any damage. Now, in my opinion, this is what Culligan should have done when they installed the water softener, instead of tying into an old drain pipe from an old water softener. And speaking of the water softener draining, each time I was there, it was draining. Now, it should only be draining during the regeneration, which typically is set for around 2 a.m. So I asked the tenant if it had been draining constantly like that, and they said, yeah, they just thought that was normal. So I told them to call Culligan to come out and check it out. Now, Culligan was actually there in about 30 minutes. They replaced some seals and a stuck piston, and like magic, no more draining when it shouldn't be. Now, we don't do carpet work, but the property management company has a vendor that they used who came out and replaced the padding, retacked the carpet down, and then cleaned the carpet. Everything back and better than it was. So, how much did the repairs cost? Well, for my visit to diagnose the issue, all the demo, all the repairs to the drywall, new baseboards, laundry valves, laundry box, new drain line for the softener, and paint, came to just under $2,400. Now, the carpet work came to an additional, I think it was like $300 or $400. Another job done, not just right, but better. Thanks, y'all. Bye now.